Republican Congressman Mike Waltz of Florida, a member of the House Armed Services Committee. Great to see you today. Can
Thanks,
you
Harris.
maybe speak to what Congressman Stubbe is talking about? Why are all of these gymnastics happening in terms of, let's come up with this idea, why not just deal with the problem, close the border, get things under control?
Yeah, great question. Just follow the law. That really is the extent of it, and Representative Stubbe said it right. And in the Caribbean, Harris, on top of what's happening on the southern border, in the Caribbean, Haiti is descending absolutely into chaos. Their president was murdered. Gangs have taken over. Another earthquake, another tropical storm. And I was just with the Vice Admiral of the Coast Guard, and they've had a 300% increase in interceptions of people trying to flee by boat. And by the way, it's not just the land border. We have thousands and thousands of miles of coastline that also has to be protected. And the Coast Guard and the Navy right now, Harris, can only intercept about 10% of what it sees on radar. So I just want to take this a bigger picture for a second, though. Biden has got to pay attention to the Western Hemisphere. I mean, we have an absolute crisis in Central America. The Caribbean, Cuba, and Haiti are about to devolve into another crisis. You have a big push left in South America with Lula in Brazil and in Colombia. And Biden barely even mentions it, much less have gone. He sent Kamala and Jill Biden down there.
Why do you think that is?
Right. I mean, our trade, our energy, our food supply is all right here in the Western Hemisphere. And you know who's there? Russia and China. Russia and China are there big time, and this administration's completely absent. Because, I don't know what he's doing in Delaware every weekend, but this is crisis after crisis, and they're just not taking it on. They just don't have a serious policy of American leadership and engagement right in our own hemisphere.
Well, and the White House press secretary has said what he's doing right now from Delaware is trying to help Democrats win from Delaware.
Right.
From Delaware.
Yeah, exactly. From the basement again. It's not going to work, and we're going to have a red wave in 8 days.
Let's get to this. Country star Luke Bryan is fighting back at people on Twitter who literally melted down after he welcomed Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on stage in Jacksonville Friday night. They were raising money for the victims of Hurricane Ian. Let's watch together.
We're going to have some fun, and we're going to raise some money tonight for the great state of Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage Governor Ron DeSantis.
Well, the reaction in social media among liberals was downright vicious. One person tweeted, "Sad and seriously disappointing. F you, Luke Bryan." Of course, we cleaned that up on screen and with me. Another with, "Note to self, cancel Luke Bryan." Bryan responded, "I understand Governor DeSantis is a very polarizing figure, but I grew up in a country where if a governor asks you if they can come and raise awareness to help victims of a natural disaster, you help." Congressman Waltz, it's your state, and you say what?
You have to just appreciate the hypocrisy here. Number one, it was to raise money for victims of what has been a devastating hurricane. Not a political event, but even if it was, artists do political events for Democrats all the time, and I guess that's okay. But to try to bring awareness to the devastation from Hurricane Ian, not okay. But you know what else was in that video, Harris? Was the overwhelming cheers of the people of Jacksonville, of the people of Florida for their governor. They love their freedom. They want to keep more of their money in their pocket. They want parents determining what their kids learn in school. They want businesses flourishing, and they don't want to be locked down. So I take the cheers from the crowd for their governor to be just as encouraging as the nonsense that you face on Twitter, and it's just total hypocrisy, and everybody sees through it.
And when you look at the event where you started, it just brought back those images of people trapped on Sanibel Island who couldn't get off if not by helicopter or boat. And you couldn't even pull boats up for a while because all the moorings, everything was gone that you could tie your boat to, I should say, all the docks. And the governor promised to get that done expeditiously. Some were saying, no, it'll take a year, it'll take 2 years. He got it done in less than 60 days. A way for people to get on and off the island. Is it perfect? No, but he started to have that causeway rebuilt. That's not a political thing. That's a human survival thing.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. But it's also, you know, a governor and a mentality here in Florida of just get it done, just focus on the objective, and there's, you know, nothing. You know, all of this
Democrats can choose that too.
Yeah, they should, or they can just fall into the kind of the same bureaucratic timelines that you know all too often happen, and why so many people are leaving those states and coming to this state. Even in the worst of a disaster, we came together as fellow Americans and Floridians with a governor who wants to lead, with local officials who are just going to do what they have to do to get the job done, and that's it. You know, what else that concert and that. And the site is about is also helping first responders, the families of first responders, our National Guards men and women, 1,200 of whom had just returned from an overseas tour. It's also about helping those who have sacrificed so much to help their fellow Americans. And if you want to try to cancel that, well, good luck. You know, you're not go to some other state, but not here in Florida.
Congressman Waltz of the great state of Florida, thank you for being in focus today.
All right. Thanks, Harris.